Hey there, it's Danielle Burnock from DanielleBurnock.com, that lady on the internet who loves you, connecting you to the love that heals today, wanting to talk to you about distress. I was thinking about that word, and I thought it sounded an awful lot like de-stress. De-stress and distress. So I did a little bit of studying about, well, what is distress? We don't tend to use that word in our everyday talking. We say we're upset, we say we're frustrated, we say we're angry. Distress is not generally a word I hear all the time. So I looked it up in the dictionary to find exactly what it's supposed to mean. And there were three things that it meant. It was extreme anxiety, extreme sorrow, or extreme pain. Extreme was part of all of it. So distress means extreme, but it's anxiety, sorrow, or pain. So one of those is like de-stress, because extreme anxiety, you could call stress extreme anxiety. So I want to offer you some things you can do if you find yourself in distress. First, why are you in distress? Are you in extreme anxiety? Are you in extreme sorrow? Are you in extreme pain? Identifying what is the cause of the distress is going to give you power to do something about it. So if you're in extreme anxiety, then what you can do is de-stress if you can do it. There are things you can do to calm yourself down with the stress. Is the stress outside of you? Is the stress inside of you? Can you do anything about this thing that's causing you this anxiety, or can you not? So if you cannot do anything about what's causing you anxiety, then what you need to do, what I need to do when it happens to me, is I have to find a way to let it go, which is a lot easier to say than to do. But if we can't do anything about it, and we hold on to it, that distress is going to get more and more intense. So what can you do if you can't do anything about the anxiety, you can't seem to let it go? How can you do something to let it go when you can't do anything about it? Sounds like I'm talking back on myself. Well, one thing that I have come across recently that I think is extremely helpful for extreme anxiety, is to talk with someone about it, to vent to them, someone who's safe, vent to them, to just get all that anxiety that's stuck inside you, to get it out of you. If you have a trusted friend, to do that with a trusted friend. Or you can do that with God if you want to do that with God. I do that with God, I do that with a friend, but sometimes we don't have someone around either. So you have a third way you could get that out of you, is grab a pen and paper, pencil, paper, whatever, writing utensil, and write it, vent to the piece of paper. Say whatever you want to the piece of paper, get it all out of you, and you will feel so much better. Then you can shred it, burn it, or whatever. You don't have to keep the thing, because then you can let that piece of paper go, and that will help you let go of that anxiety that it's causing you, that you can't do anything proactive about. On the flip side, if there's something you can do about what's causing that anxiety, maybe you just need to identify what is something helpful you can do about it. Do you need to talk to someone to get advice? Do you need to do it afraid because you want to do something, but you're finding yourself scared, so you have anxiety and you need to just go for it anyways? Or maybe you need to do some studying about something, but what can you do? Because if you will put action to yourself when you're feeling all that distressed anxiety, it will alleviate a lot of that stressful feeling, and it will de-stress you. So on to the other two definitions of distress, is extreme sorrow and extreme pain. So if you are in extreme sorrow or extreme pain, you need comfort. You need comfort. You need comfort with, reach out to a friend, reach out to a counselor if you need it, reach out to someone for that comfort. Pray. Reach out to God. The Holy Spirit is also known as the Comforter. because he gives comfort. He's the comforter. For a long time, I thought of that comforter was just like a name, like, Sam, Pete, Joe or something, which, maybe that sounds silly to you, but I was stuck in that. But thinking about it as a verb and as a characteristic, then he's the comforter. So you can take that extreme sorrow to him and have him comfort you. And you can get tools. There are grief coaches. I can help with coaching through grief also. I have a grief recovery program that I have facilitated before, so I can help there. But maybe there's somewhere local you can go. There's different programs that you can go and get comfort for your grief. You can get tools to do something about that extreme sorrow. Because if you don't do anything about that extreme sorrow, it's going to go inside and it's going to hurt you physically. So I want to encourage you to take that sorrow distress and do something to process those feelings out of your body and to give you something to act on, to do something. And then about extreme pain. What kind of pain are we talking about? Are we talking about emotional pain, mental pain, physical pain? What can you do about it? What can you do about it? There's got to be something you can do about it. Maybe you've run into brick walls trying to get pain alleviated. Well, reach out for help. Reach out for help. You can always reach for help. And if the first person you reach for help doesn't help, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on finding help. I have shared in podcast interviews and on talking to you here before about I went through 3 counselors before I got the good counselor that helped me. I've been through multiple doctors before I got a doctor who would actually help me. So don't give up on yourself. If you are in distress, I want to encourage you to do something about it, to de-stress yourself, to get that sorrow out of you, to get help for that pain, to alleviate pain, because pain is good to identify there's a problem. It's good for that, but it's not a good place to live. So I want to encourage you, if you're in distress, that you listen to this again and that you apply what will help you so that you will feel better and you can have peace, because peace is way better than distress. Until next time, I love you.